Okay, how should I start this? I always have trouble starting this.
PorchFire Records, Transient Sessions with Sunjun, or something like that.
Welcome to the PorchFire Transient Sessions with Sun June. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So could y'all just talk a little bit about kind of the history of y'all's band? I know there's some interesting backstory with how y'all met, right? You met.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
No, well, I know y'all met in Terrence Malick's editing room, right? So, I don't know. That's like a really interesting story. So, could you tell that to us?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how interesting it really is, but no, it's cool. So Steven was an editor there. I was working as a production assistant. He was trying to finish like 3 films, and they're just like long hours usually. So our other friend Will, who worked for him as well, is a musician around town, and we got to thinking one day that maybe we could spend some time playing some music because Malick was out of town.
Yeah, we were working on a movie. We were working on Song to Song, which is ostensibly about the Austin music scene. It's not really, but so he brought in instruments to kind of make the office like cooler, and nobody was allowed to play them. But when he was gone, we would play them. So that's how we started making music together.
Yeah, I forgot how they got there. So
Yeah.
time passes in a weird way there, and I can't remember anything. But it was a good time.
Cool.
And then, yeah.
And y'all used to be called Jeff, right? What was like the history of that name? And
You want to start it?
Well, we named it after an editor.
There was an editor we worked with named Jeff.
Great guy.
Great guy. Still around. Still an editor. And he left the offices, and I don't know. I loved the name Jeff in general as like a band name.
Somebody was walking by the room that we were. Somebody was walking by the room we were playing our first songs in, and they said, "What's your band name?" And Laura said, "Jeff."
Yep.
it's actually a pretty good name for a band because like it's probably the only band named Jeff out there, right?
Well, there's a DJ duo.
You'd be wrong.
You're wrong.
Yeah, we got a lot of DJ duo auto-populated like tour dates on our Bandcamp. Really? So we realized that wouldn't work out very well in the long run.
Yeah.
Also, it was just kind of a silly name, and we're serious now.
Yeah. How did Jeff take it when you had to change the name?
I hurt probably.
Does he even know?
I think we've told him, and he does not care.
Didn't care before.
Didn't care now, but still great guy.
Yeah.
Cool. Y'all's videos that you've made recently have been like probably some of the most cinematic indie music videos that I've seen. Does your time as like a film editor play into that, and how have you been influenced in the making of your music videos?
Well, yes, I think our time. I still work in the field, and I don't know. I think we just have like a certain aesthetic between the two of us, Steven and I, that we wanted to kind of also do it DIY because we're poor. I guess you could say there's influences from filmmakers we've worked with. We actually filmed around this area with Michael because he used to live down the street.
Yeah, when you're
like
walking through the alleys and
yeah,
stuff.
did you recognize it?
I thought that it was
Yeah, it was like right
yeah.
a block away.
But the other half of the video is shot like at the Griffith Observatory, right? Or
Yeah,
in LA.
In
right?
LA. Do you want to talk about that? Because Steven's from LA.
Okay.
And I'm from New York, like upstate New York originally. Okay. So I actually had never been. That was like my first time going there, and I was really excited to just see the Griffith Observatory. But it was our idea to have fun with like a microphone and dance around without getting permits and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? He was behind the camera. So.
Well, we took a road trip to LA, and we just filmed a lot on the way there and the way back. And that's the biggest Malick influence is we shoot way more than we need to. That's about, and then Laura did all the editing when we got back to Austin and put it together.
I was gonna ask you also about. I feel like a lot of your songs, or at least some of them, deal with like L.A., especially like the 405 line or whatever, and like you also have songs about New York City though. So I was wondering about, are those like semi-autobiographical at all, or are you just drawing from like American imagery there?
Oh yeah, I'd say a little bit of both, right? There's big ideas in both cities, obviously. Like there's a lot of connections to like the general population, I would say, to, you know, dramatizing your time in either place, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd say that. And then, yeah, like she said, I'm from outside LA and she's from outside New York, so we have a lot of experience in those cities too. So there's, some literal stuff and then some imagery stuff for sure. And the 405, great road. One of the best out there.
Yeah,
I never hear that about the 405.
Yeah, it's like it's got something about it, something nice about it. He's a 35 man himself. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Johnson City. That's probably
Yeah, that's
Johnson
true.
City.
That's closest to his backyard.
you guys really got the whole U.S. East, west.
There you go. Yeah.
Now we're expanding.
Yeah.
Global territories.
Yeah, you're about to go on a.
That's right.
This is your second European tour though, right?
Yes, our second.
Okay, you went to Italy last time, right?
Mainly, yeah. We
Okay.
did a couple other European dates, but
And is that all set up through Keeled Scales, pretty much?
we put out a song in March. We put out the song "Young," and last year. And an Italian booker reached out to us after seeing it and said, "Do you guys want to come to Italy?" Like, I'll do it. I'll put you out here. So
We said yes.
we said yes, obviously, but Keeled Scales has done a lot of like U.S. booking for us in the past, since I guess our album release, and we haven't found anyone else to book us in the U.S.
Cut that.
But and then there was like another booking agency in Europe that our label had some connections with.
Okay,
So
cool.
put us in touch with them, and now we're going back to do a little more.
Cool. So your latest release was like a short EP, right, with some demos on it. Are there any more demos that are going to come out from that album, or what's on the horizon now?
Probably no more demos from that album, I would say. On the horizon, we're trying to make a second record. I should say that the new songs on that EP were of the same like theme of our years of our records. That's why they were kind of attached to it. And we had been playing those songs for as long as we had been playing all the others, but we just never got a recording right. I don't know if we got it even that right this time, but
Where did y'all record? Can I ask, did you record them all in the same session and then just choose to release them later, or
we had recorded some, but we went back and re-recorded them in the same way with the same person, Evan Casper, at Estuary Studios.
Okay.
And live to tape kind of thing. So it's the same feeling, same mood, same exact setup. Like we all stood pretty much in the same places.
Same clothes.
Didn't wash them for good luck. So yeah, even though it was like several months later, we revisited some songs and then some songs that we released under Jeff that we have since kind of only put out on cassette and may never put them out.
Yeah.
Like,
Give you one of those.
like there's a couple other songs. 5 years.
We have some Jeff demos that
JCGF.
That'd be awesome.
will eventually go out, but then it's just new album after this, I guess.
New album. Yeah. Anything to add to that?
Not really. Cool. I think we like to keep these pretty brief, so I don't have a ton more questions. But thank you guys so much for coming in, and good luck in your.
What about you, Will?
Huh?
What about you?
What about me?
What's your deal?
My deal? Well, That's
do a
all
lot
we
of
have
these.
time for.
Well, thank you for
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
It was
cool
fun.
question. Thanks to everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys.